Okay, beautiful people, how are you guys doing today? So somebody asked me this question, Milton, I want to enter the EU and where do you think I can go with small budget? And when I asked him this question, how much is your budget? He said his money is 4 million naira. Now, I do not know the equivalent of 4 million naira in CFA francs or euros. Please convert it. Maybe I can put it somewhere on the screen. Now, I'm going to give you some countries, and also I'm making this video because he told me that he has a sponsor. Okay, and equally within this video, you are going to hear me mention some specific things which are very important, and if you really want to move abroad next year, either February intake, or for September intake, you should listen to me, please. I also want you to understand that moving abroad is getting very complicated. Not really like complicated, but very difficult now. Within the European Union, we have 27 countries, okay? And the rest are in the Schengen, and there are others which are also not in the Schengen zone and not in the EU. So you should know this. But I always recommend that if you want to move abroad or you want to travel, as somebody who comes from a family which is struggling, you should always go to a place that at least can benefit you. But now we have a situation on ground. 4 million naira, where can it take you to? These are some countries I would say, if this money is your own money and you have a sponsor who can actually stand in for you to supply you proof of funds or to supply you like something like bank statement, or give you all documents, because I'm talking based on what this subscriber asks. He is a very good person. He's been watching videos on this channel, but I think he still have a little bit of problems. These are the countries you should go to. Austria has an intake for March and also has an intake for September, October. But you should understand that Austria need legalization. I talked about this some few weeks back. Authentication, verification, and legalization. Now is the time to start the process, because this process takes a long time to come and it involves money, about 500, 600,000. You are going to remove from that your 4 million now and do the process. There are videos on the channel I did explaining all of this. Now, while you are doing this, do not rely only on Austria, because your documents might stay with them, okay? And you need these documents to apply for admissions. Now, Austria tuition is very low. That is why I'm suggesting it for you. So at the end of the day, if your documents come back, you can use little money and pay application fee, then apply, take your documents, apply for a school. Then the balance that is left, you can keep it and prepare for your flight and any other thing. Then your sponsor now can now fund your account with the money. There is a video about proof of funds and the total amount is around 14,000 euros. You said you have a sponsor, so that is what you should do. And this is for any other person who is also looking at migrating, who is also struggling. Austria is a top country. That is why I recommend Austria. If you also have the same amount in your bank account and your sponsor can also afford the blocked money for Belgium, okay, remember you still have your 4 million with you, then choose Belgium as well. Belgium is also a top country. But my advice to you is to get your documents legalized now. For Cameroonians, the process is from your school or from your university or from GCE board. Your documents must go through the TLS contact. This is for Cameroonians. Nigerians, they have their own process similar to this, okay? TLS contact, you do the payments, then they will take it now to the Belgian embassy for authentication, legalization, I beg your pardon. Now, understand that this legalization, it doesn't mean that you have to do it before you apply to schools. There are a few schools in Belgium that will accept that, or that will say that legalize your documents before you can apply. Ghent University is an example, right? But there are others that you can apply, like Hasselt University and so many of them. Okay, you can apply, and if they want to give you admissions or if they really want to take your application, they are going to inform you and tell you to bring those documents. That is why I'm telling you now, so you should know that there is a process involved, okay? So you should prepare the documents. If I'm you and I want to apply to Belgium, I will get my documents legalized immediately. Because even if you legalize the documents or not, at the end of the day, when you get admission, for you to apply for visa, you still need to do this process, and your birth certificate will also be included. There are videos already on the channel. Another country is Bulgaria. Now, Bulgaria, I will recommend Bulgaria to those of you who do not have enough money. Okay, you can always go for Bulgaria, and understand that when it comes to Bulgaria, the procedure is a daunting process, so hard, and you have to first of all do this whole legalization thing. Then you send your documents back to Bulgaria, to the Bulgarian Ministry of Education. After that, when they confirm and your documents are okay, they will now send it back to your school, and your school will now give you an official letter. Okay, this is when you can now begin visa application. So your confirmation must come from Bulgaria first before you can proceed. Okay, it is a to and fro procedure. What I mean by to and fro procedure is that you cannot proceed without their government, without this process. Okay, and Bulgaria is for people who have less than the 4 million naira, because Bulgaria is relatively cheap. If you have, even that 4 million naira can be your, I think, no, 5 million to 5.5 million is enough. Is it enough? Around 6,500 euros. That is the proof of funds. But one advantage with Bulgaria is that tuition fee is very low. I think they are charging now like 2,000 euros. You can get a school. Even less than 2,000 euros, you can still get schools. All right. And also understand that you have to pay a deposit, and accommodation is inclusive. Like the school can give you accommodation and you pay together with your tuition. So always know, like, ask questions to your university, but always check schools in Bulgaria, especially to those who do not have sponsors and have little financed. Note that proof of funds is non-negotiable, and also be building your account. I was talking to somebody yesterday. She was like, she doesn't have an account. Come on, you want to move abroad? If you go to the embassy and the embassy asks you to bring your own account, what will you do? Or to show them that you have an account? Because sometimes you never can tell. You can go there and they tell you that, okay, you want to go to this country and your father or your sponsor is the one sponsoring you. We want to see your own account and tell your sponsor to transfer part of the money to your own account so you should have access to it before the visa can be granted. What are you going to do at that stage? You don't have an account. So please put this into consideration. Other countries you can consider with that little money is a country like Czech Republic. You also have a country like Denmark and Finland, France and Germany. Remember, this is for those who have sponsors. But those of us who do not have sponsors, you can take a look at Czech Republic, maybe France, because of course Germany, Finland, their proof of funds is so big. And for Germany, you need blocked account. Finland, the money must be in your bank account. 9,600 euros. For Czech Republic, the money can be in your account and you can also use a sponsor, but it's not much. I think about close to 7,000 euros. But the process for Czech Republic is so daunting because you have to do authentication, verification, legalization. Their verification is something called super legalization. That's their embassy go through the document. Okay, so please put all of this together. Another country you can consider if you have little money is Hungary. Hungary and Italy. Now, for Italy, you have to be tactical because there is something they call guarantorship. Of course, you can have your guarantor back home. You can have it in Italy. And if you have a guarantor back home, somebody like a guarantor is somebody basically sponsoring you, right? There are documents involved, a list of them. I actually did a video about this where I talked about his work contract, his leave, and all those documents, bank accounts, how much is in the account, and then other documents like taxpayers' cards, and if he has properties or companies, bring all the documents together before you apply for the visa. And also understand that Italian universities are very cheap, not really cheap, but affordable. Of course, there are still cheap universities in Italy, like Camerino, all those big institutions. They are very cheap, but very difficult to go in. Now, to those who have bachelor's degree, I want to tell you, draw your attention to this TOEIC exam. There is an exam in Italy called TOEIC, and this exam, sometimes you have to write it online based on university. Sometimes you may not write it. Sometimes the school will refuse that you didn't submit it. Okay, so my advice is, if you want to move to Italy, don't just take the IELTS alone. TOEIC is important too. Okay, you might get the IELTS and they give you an offer letter, but the problem is now going to be at the level of the Italian embassy. It's either you learn Italian or you write the TOEIC exam. IELTS is also good, but Italy is not a place I can advise you to go with just your IELTS exam, because most of them, they want to be sure that what you wrote is what you can actually defend. Okay, so Italy is a country you can consider. Proof of funds is not big, and they also have scholarships, guys. Right now, the regional scholarship is open. I'm still going to talk about all of that, and also take a look at Hungary. Schools in Hungary are also a bit expensive because you pay in two segments, 2 semesters. First semester you pay before you apply for visa, then the other semester you pay while you are already in Hungary. So it is a bit complicated for Hungary. But again, if you do not have enough money and you have a sponsor, take a look at these countries. Somebody was asking about Ireland. Ireland is expensive, bro. If you take a look at Irish universities, it is a good country, an English country, but Ireland, UK, they are the only two. I think, yeah, Netherlands is like 97%. But if your money is not enough, take a look at these countries. Look into Lithuania as well. And do not forget the updates for Lithuania. There is a new update that is going to take effect from 22nd October. You can now go to Ghana or Zimbabwe and apply for your visa. No more Dubai for Lithuania, starting from 22nd October. Then you can look at Luxembourg. If you have good documents, also apply to the University of Luxembourg. But note that it's only that one school which is cheap, right? So I will not say you should only depend on one institution. Open your tentacles like this, okay? And also, while you are doing this, remind your sponsor to know that he or she has to drop money immediately admissions is set. Like if you get your admissions immediately, he has to start the sponsoring. Also take a look at Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, and Sweden. Sweden is expensive, but only look at these countries, these petit countries. I'm saying petit because their tuition is not that big. For Portugal, you can pay in installments, even in 10 installments, small portions, but you need legalization before you start your application. If you haven't watched my videos, this is just a sniper to explain this process to you, okay? Details are on the channel already. And if you think you don't have time to watch the videos and you want to talk to me directly on a call, book from the video description box. And if you have a question, drop it below. I will give you more details in subsequent months or weeks to come. We meet again in another one. Bye-bye.